Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Blue Archive song reaction. Today we have themes 180 and 202 as requested by BNCCD. I don't know if there's a proper way to say that, so I'm just spelling it out. But apparently these are from a new event, like brand new, hot off the press, so I'm not sure what they're gonna sound like, but apparently at least one of them is a banger. But as we've seen through all the videos here, pretty much every song that they've ever put out is a banger, so I guess we'll have to figure out what both of these have in store. Let's go! Ooh, starting panned. Speaking to my punk rock soul already. Probably not that genre. Yeah, okay. It's a little poppy though. Ooh, maybe. Ooh, okay, it's more like J-pop. Alright. Ooh. That's quite literally what it is. Alright. This is an anime opening. What is this doing in Blue Archive? Alright. Pretty straightforward so far. Yep, okay. This is pretty standard for like the J-pop anime intro feel. Obviously that's what they're trying to do with it. But you know, I'm a sucker for this sound, so I'm gonna be vibing with it no matter what. I love a lot of the things that this genre does that are always so consistent. But I'll get into that after it's done. I mean, it's just a blast. Like, I'm gonna have to approach this from a different direction than usual. I know you can't see it, but I'm like drumming with my feet. Through that whole song, I was basically just tapping along down below. All right. So the reason I said I'm gonna have to like work through this one a little bit is because it's unique in the way that it sounds like an anime opening, and I don't really get to talk about those that often, but it's the Royal Road progression. It has been used since I think the 70s in Japan for like most pop songs, and that did bleed over to the West over time. Australia also had a little bit of it. It's just kind of spread its wings in different locations, but it's also called the Odo Shinko, which is the exact translation of Royal Road. It's just that progression is a very specific set of keys and chord progression. This song being in the key of G. G is a very uplifting key. It's got a lot of positivity that follows it. A lot of songs are made in G, and a lot of songs, like I said, follow that progression. That's why there's like memes going around about how like some pop punk songs sound like anime intros. It's because they utilize the same key and the same chord progression. You know, it's all music theory. At the end of the day, it's following that standard that's become such a paramount standard in Japanese pop culture. It's just like, why would you go away from it? I mean, even Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley was following this exact structure. It has a very uplifting feeling to it, and when you put it in a major chord, in a major key, it's gonna do that same thing. So it's just utilizing what you've got and finding that sound you want and rolling with it. And it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Meanwhile, it's also keeping up with the usual stuff that you would expect out of an anime intro, for like the stereotypical stuff of how it breaks things up and has has bridges and just little moments like that where like you got a drum fill here and a little section that bridges from the verse to the chorus, you know, like add some chords here, the clean guitar with that mild distortion. All of these things are just so that, you know, that's an anime intro. There are some stereotypical things that go into it. It's just what the style is anymore. It got popular in the 80s with Japanese pop, and it just never went away because it's a tried and true method in a tried and true theory. So at the end of the day, I don't really want to dig too much into the music theory about the Royal Road or anything, but I do want to encourage you all, if you don't know about that music theory side of things, go look up the Royal Road progression or the Odo Shinko. It's the most interesting, weird read you will ever do, and you realize really quickly how many songs follow that worldwide. Doesn't matter where you live or like what your musical influence was. Songs from classic rock in the 80s in the West to songs that are like death metal and classical all follow that exact structure, because it's not exactly Japan's structure. It's just something that got popularized over there and carried its name from it. Otherwise, this is a very popular thing, and the key does, as I said earlier, help with that. G is a very, very prominent chord and a very, very prominent key in all of music of all time. It's just all over the place. Most pop punk is done in G, hence the meme I referenced earlier. So it's just like, there you go. Of course, you all know that I love music, and I am getting more into learning music theory. That's why I'm figuring this sort of stuff out so I can share it with all of you. And albeit I'm not good enough on a piano yet to be able to do chords and show you guys the exact progression being used. I mean, it's the key of G, so you got like a B minor in there, which would be, I think, whoop. There it is. So like I said, I'm learning. But also, like, I think this is a D minor? That's a major. There it is. Okay, like I'm learning. It's really cool to be able to dig into that and see different songs made with these different structures. And it's a little bit of a pull back the curtain kind of thing, see the man behind it. But I think that's part of the fun of music as well. There's definitely a line of like, will you go to the point of learning it all to be able to no longer be a casual listener of music, but to become somebody who's very knowledgeable about music theory? That's on you. I decided to take that journey myself, but it's a matter of, do you want to be that person? I still think that it's interesting enough to at least go read up on it, but nonetheless, really fun song. But at the end of the day, if I had to just put it into a bubble, it's an anime intro, and there's not really much else I can say about it because it hits all of the exact spots and all the stereotypes that you would expect out of that genre. But of course, that's not it yet. We still have the other one to do, so here is theme 202. Oh, that's different. Ayo. We're out of the anime intros now. Oh. Oh, it's not even standard. Okay. It's not sticking in 4/4. Okay, it's sticking in 4/4 now. It might have just been a little bit of a zest thrown into the intro. Happens a lot in prog metal. Woo! Yeah, we're out of 4/4 again. Woo! Was that 5/4? I'm terrible with time signatures. Despite learning theory, still terrible at time signatures. Hey! Hey! I got my stank face on full display for this one. Woo! Just a crying drum solo. Drum solo. Guitar solo. See how my brain is right now? It's because of those doubles. Ooh, we got a little blast action. Okay. Okay. Jesus. So that was different. It hilariously reminded me of Baby Metal. That was not intended. But I like circa 2011 Baby Metal. It was like the beginning of their career with things with this like metal synth blend, this hybrid of that sound, which honestly I believe that they pioneered, at least in Japan. So that's kind of interesting to hear that. I actually kind of curious to see who the producer was for this one. It doesn't have it listed, so I don't know, but I feel like it might have been somebody who's worked with them because it was too accurate to that sound. It might have just been somebody who utilized that as a reference, but I would not be surprised if they had somebody who produced a song for Baby Metal back in the day making stuff like this for them. That is so cool. I love the sound of that, especially the guitar solos and everything. It just sounds totally in that pocket of metal. I love the sound. I love the aesthetic. I literally went to the show and got the t-shirt, so like I am a fan, clearly. Even down to having those different time signatures, which will still and probably forever mess me up because I'm just terrible at counting in general. I've never been that great on it with the drums. It takes me a lot of effort to get there, but when it comes down to it, I love hearing that stuff. It wakes my brain up and it keeps you active in the mind. They say that if you're writing music or producing it, you shouldn't ever stick in 4/4 for too long. Like, you need to have some sort of a creative variability there. You can't just be stuck in 4/4 your whole career. And I do believe there is some merit to that. Even just once or twice, change it up a little bit, expand that horizon, and doing stuff like this. And metal plays with time signatures all the time. It's basically a tried and true rule that if you're in a metal band at some point, you need to have something a little bit more progressive to just mess around with. And it's that sort of bravery that leads to innovation in music and allows the mind of the listener to expand to other genres maybe and be like, hey, this sounded really cool. What else sounds like that? And then they see and hear more. And there's just an endless array of this sort of concept of just taking these time signatures and weird, intricate changes happening throughout and adding just some zest on what could otherwise be a pretty solid, but at the end of the day, frankly, kind of boring 4/4 track. I mean, even without all the time signature change stuff that was happening in this one, just adding stuff like the breakdown and having that spot at the end where they broke into a blast beat, like, these are unexpected things, especially when you're so used to, in this game, having a lot of music that's just heavily electronic and pretty standard 4/4. This wakes the player up a little bit and definitely woke me up, so I know it's got to have woken somebody else up who heard it. This is a unique sound to come out of this game for me, and I love that it's there. I think that that is exactly the type of gateway people need. People who have been into the electronic sound of Blue Archive songs this whole time, and then they hit you with that, and you're just like, whoa! Hold on, let me Google Sleep Token. Like, it's that sort of bridge that people need to be able to experience other genres and other bands, and I love that they're just sneaking it in there. It's just so refreshing to see that. But as far as the theory on this one, I don't really have much to say because this is honestly above my pay grade quite yet. I might be able to play some metal drum stuff, but I'm by no means a double pedal god, so I don't want to act like I'm an authority on this one. I'm not there yet. But otherwise, still an absolute banger of a song, and we had two songs on completely different sides of the musical spectrum, and I love that variety. So I guess I'll see you guys all in the next video. Of course, if you have anything you want to recommend, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best. And otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to stick around for more in the future, you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!